Hi FlossTube, it's Jen from Delicious Threads. Today is Monday, May 1st, and this is my April update and Maynia plans. April was a lot of fun. We had spring break, and my family actually took the week off, and we went down to Southern California to visit my sister and her family, and we took the kids to Disneyland twice, and we went to California Adventure. It was a lot of fun. A lot more fun than I thought it was going to be with 4 little kids, because my sister has a little boy too. The car ride was long, and the 2 older ones get car sick, but it was a little bit better than I thought it would be. I got to stitch in the car. I don't usually get to do that. Normally, I have to be the person driving or else I get car sick, but I figured this time I would try stitching and see how it went, and I was able to get a decent amount done between kids getting sick. Overall, successful trip, and it was very relaxing, and I can't wait to have another vacation. Summer's coming up, so maybe soon, right? I also got to have a little stitchy meetup on this past Saturday. I went up to Santa Rosa and met up with some stitchy friends. So Becky, the Obsessed Stitcher, put it together. I've already met her. We met in November when I went to Needle in a Haystack to meet up with some of the ladies from the Bay Area. And she put it together, and thank you again, Becky. It was so much fun. She does have FlossTube. I'll link her channel down below. I met Helga for the first time. She has a FlossTube channel. She just started doing videos again recently, and I'll link her down below. We had not met before, and we have a lot in common. So we chatted a lot while I was there. I chatted a lot more than I stitched. Like, I think I probably got 20 stitches in on like the 2 different projects I tried stitching on. But it was fun just getting a chance to talk with people about stitchy stuff and non-stitchy stuff. So Helga, it was really nice meeting you. I can't wait to do the Wild Olive Out in Nature English paper piecing project with you. We're doing something. I'll put links down below. If you like embroidery or quilting or English paper piecing, I'll put a link down below to a stitch along that we're doing, and you can join us. I got to see Michelle again. She's not on FlossTube, but she does watch FlossTube, and she's on Instagram. So hi, Michelle. And I got to meet another new person, Terry, and she had to leave a little bit early, so I hope you're doing well, and it was really nice meeting you. I had to drive quite a bit to get to this meetup, but it was totally worth it. Can't wait to do it again. So thanks again, ladies. It was great. If you don't have other people in your area that stitch, or if you haven't started doing meetups, see if there are other people. Stitch Mania is a big group. I've seen people posting, hey, is anybody in this area? And you can find some people to meet up with. I kind of wish I could do it more often. It sucks that it seems a little bit too spread out to really make it a super regular thing, but I do hope that we can do it more often. Let's see, April. I stitched on 4 things in April. Here's my project tracker and my bullet journal. And you can see I stitched on Coffee Quaker, Giant Harry Potter, National Parks, and Zodiac Sampler. I really was hoping to get good progress done on these 4 projects. I did the Jessie Marie birthday countdown Sal, and I tried to focus on, I think actually just these. Oh no, I didn't do Coffee Quaker, so I only focused on 3 projects for that, and I reused them for a bunch of the prompts because I really wanted to try to get a lot done. You'll notice I stitched on National Parks a lot, and that's because I was using that as my car project. So I stitch on it at night too, sometimes, especially if it fit the prompt for the Sal, but I was stitching a lot in the car. So when I'm sitting waiting in the pickup line with my son, or to pick up my son, I would do that, and I found that with the 11 by 11 Q-snap, I could prop it up on my steering wheel and I could stitch two-handed. So I was able to get quite a bit done, and then that project has larger chunks of color, and it's easier to count because it's, only on 28 count. So it was a really good project to use in the car. So instead of having little tiny things, which is what I was doing before, I was able to stitch on one of my bigger projects, and that's one that I want to get done this month if I can, in May, for my mom. So got a lot done on that. I'm really excited. So let me show you the projects that I did. First one I'll show you is my Zodiac Sampler. Oh, I'll put in where I was last time. Alright, so last time you saw it, I had part of the frame for Gemini done. And I finished that up. I still haven't done the constellation, and that'll be stitched in glow-in-the-dark DMC. And then I stitched the frames for Cancer and started on the design. I'm not sure when I'll pull this out again, especially with Maynia starting. I am planning to do Maynia this time, so we'll see. Maybe at the end of the month I'll pull this out again. I also stitched a little bit on Giant Harry Potter. I'm really glad I was able to pull this one out again. The Jessie Marie's birthday sale really helped motivate me to get this out because it fit some of the prompts. And last time you saw it, it was here. And this is what I worked on. I did some work on my Slytherin banner. I got most of it done. I just have a little bit left of the cream and the tongue for the snake. It needs a little eyeball. I accidentally just stitched the whole face in green, but one of the stitches is supposed to be a black eye. And then the black for the letter for Slytherin. And I am using Petite Treasure braid for the sparkle at the bottom instead of just plain. I think it was charted for plain white, but I am using silver, just like I used silver over here in the little corner motif. Next up is Coffee Quaker. A lot of my stitching on this was actually while I was on vacation in the car, and then a little bit at my sister's house. And last time you saw it, it was here. And here is where I am now. So I got quite a bit done. I did that bottom line of text. I finished up this little motif here, did the birds, another little bird, and then I started on a flower. This little bit of stitching, I think just the stem going up and this one leaf, I did at the meetup on Saturday. I still kind of wish that I had picked some crazy colors for this one, especially after seeing a lot of other people's projects. But I might maybe put a little more red and green in this one than is charted, but I haven't actually decided yet. I have made a couple of changes. This motif right here, there was only one empty row between the F and that motif on the pattern, so I lifted it up a little bit because it seemed a little crowded. I've seen some other people commenting about that too on theirs, and so I'm really glad that I did that. And then on this one, this little corner actually has another motif that overlaps it, and this was a mistake. I was stitching this one, and I was too lazy to get up and get the other page of the pattern because this section is on a separate page, so I just mirrored what was on the other side, thinking that it was probably just the same. And it wasn't until after I finished stitching, I was like, oh, oops, there's supposed to be something there. But I don't actually like it overlapping. So I'm going to shift some things so the motif doesn't overlap and it'll be down a little bit. And there's plenty of room for some of these shifting pieces. I really like this project. Can't wait to get back to it. The last April project that I worked on was National Parks. And here's a picture of where I was last time. And here is where I am now. I finished up the top part last night. And last time, I think I told you about my change in the lava. I added a little bit of sparkle. I don't know if you could see that. No, not really. I just used one strand of Petite Treasure braid with a strand of DMC, and I changed my color, and I think I said the wrong color last time. I think it's 347, to make it a little brighter red. And the only other change that I have made so far is right here. This little tent on the chart is like a gray triangle kind of tent with like a wood beam, and I wanted to make the tent look like my mom's tent. And so I texted her and I said, hey mom, what color is your tent? Or what does your tent look like? And she told me, oh, it's green. And I said, well, what kind of green? Is it lime green? Is it olive green? And she's like, I'll send you a picture. So I will put in a picture of what my mom's tent looks like here. So what do you think? Does that work? Does that look enough like hers? I hope so. So I'm pretty close to finishing this one. There's another, I think it's probably like, I would say 2/3 of the way done. There are like 2 more national parks with 2 more rangers, and then at the bottom it has like some snowflakes and leaves, and then it says Centennial. So I'm hoping this will be finished up before she has her graduation at the end of this month. And at the very least, like, it might not be framed yet, but if I could have it done stitching and be able to show her what I made her, that might make me happy enough. With Maynia, I'm going to have to be careful and make sure that I'm still stitching on this, because I do really want to get it done. Let's see. So that's all I worked on. I feel like, I don't feel like that was less than other months as far as number of projects, but I feel like I got a lot more stitching done than I had before. And because I was able to stitch every single day, that's a lie. Ignore me. Most of the days in April, I was thinking that maybe Maynia wouldn't be a bust. So I am planning to do Maynia. I got a little bit of haul in April, not too much. Still in the negative for Stitch from Stash, not worrying about it. I got all 5 parts of a New World series by Barbara Anna Designs. A Night of All Fears. Plentiful Meadows. Okay. Deep in the Woods. My favorite part is her apron. A Visit to Town. Okay, go ahead. And Over the Seas. That's fine. And I'm not sure when I'm going to start those. I'm not planning to start these for Maynia. I still don't know what I want to do with them. I was considering trying to find a fabric that they would all look good on, so it would all be on one piece together. But I'm not sure. I don't know if I like the way this looks with the 5 different fabrics just all sewn together and framed together. But I also don't want to frame them separately, so I have to decide what I'm going to do. I might end up just doing all 5 like this. Haven't decided. The other thing I got was Stony Creek. Good job. Later today, maybe, okay? Let me finish, please. The Stony Creek cross stitch collection for autumn 2016. There are a couple of projects in here that I want to stitch. This is one of them, and that one right there. And I'll actually show those again when I show my Maynia plans. No, go in the playroom, please. So that's all I bought. I guess technically, I also got a couple of these little pouches from Target in their dollar spot. And they're nice. They have like a little pole. And right now it just has some batteries for my book light and my needle holders. But they're a great little size for keeping some of your little like scissors and other little accessories for stitching. And so now I have them, or I have one in each of my project bags so that I have my stuff ready to go. You could even keep your threads and stuff in there if you don't have a ton for a project. Yeah. That's all I bought. Not too bad. So April, done. Can't believe it. Why is time going by so quickly? I don't understand how this is happening. So now Maynia. This will be the first year that I do Maynia. I knew about it in 2015, but I had only sort of recently gotten back into stitching like as a thing, like all the time. And I think I only had like 1 or 2 projects. So to me, having 15 starts, like, that's crazy. There aren't even 15 things that I want to stitch. And so there was never a thought in my mind that I would do Maynia in 2015. Last year, I wanted to. There were lots of things I wanted to stitch and things that I wanted to start, but I had a new baby. I had a baby in March, and so my baby was less than 2 months old when Maynia was going to start, and I was like, that's just not going to happen. And then this year, I originally was like, I'm going to do Maynia. Maynia is going to be great. I have so much stuff. Let's do Maynia. And then I was like, no, I'm not going to do Maynia. That's crazy. I have so many things that I need to finish stitching. Like, why would I do Maynia? That's crazy. And then it was like, Maynia is going to be fun, though. Look at all these cool projects that people are doing. I started seeing everybody's Maynia plan videos, and I'm like, oh man, I really want to do Maynia. I should do Maynia. And then it was, no, I shouldn't do Maynia. And then I decided, maybe I'll do Maynia, but I'll do like a tweaked version where, you know, I only do 1 start a week. Some people are doing that. That'll be fun. And I was like, no, I shouldn't do that. I should finish what I am on. And I'm like, okay, so to finish what I'm on, maybe I should do Maynia, but I'll make it like monogamous Maynia, where I work on a project until it's done, or, you know, until I finish a particular section or motif or whatever, and then I'll move on to something else. So I'm still maybe bouncing around, and it'll be manic because I'm just like trying to finish. And then I was like, no, I shouldn't do that either. I'll get burnt out. Why would I do that? And then I was watching and was enabled by Running Stitch. I know other people have commented too about having seen her plan video and getting sucked in because of things that she said. And she talked about having all these projects and things that you want to stitch that are just sitting there. And like, what's the difference between them sitting there or sitting there with 10 or 20 stitches in them and sitting there for a decade or forever? Like, the difference is you got to start it and you got to enjoy it for a little bit, right? So I have lots of projects, and for me, the biggest hurdle to doing some of my projects is the start. So just even kitting it up sometimes is hard for me. Like, I'll get the pattern and I'll have fabrics, but bringing them together and like choosing what's going to go together sometimes is time consuming. So I was up until 3 o'clock in the morning doing that, pairing up my fabrics with projects. And I bought a whole bunch of fabric last year in the Picture This Plus Christmas in July sale, planning for this year, knowing I was going to do Stitch from Stash and knowing that I had projects that I wanted to stitch and start this year. And so I tried to get things that would work for Halloween stuff and more neutrals that would work with lots of different things. And I finally just like sat down and paired them all up. And so Maynia is happening. My Maynia is going to be probably a little different. I just have like a long list of all of the projects that I have ready to go. I have a fabric with a pattern, or I have fabrics that I can pick from that maybe I was too tired last night to decide on, but I do have fabrics there that I can pick from. And so if that comes up as a start, I can start it. And so my long list in Excel, right now I have 33 projects. That might even increase as I find more pairings for patterns of fabric, because I still have fabric that I can pair up with projects. And things that I still want to start that I like from magazines and things that I didn't even look at last night. So I might increase that list as May goes on. I'm not necessarily going to stop at 15 days. So I have, like I said, 33 projects listed. And what I'm going to do is each night, or for today, I haven't done it yet, so I'll do it in a little while. I'll find out what my project is going to be for today just by using random.org. It'll give me the number, whatever project is on that number in my spreadsheet, that's the project I'm going to start. And then I'm going to move that project over to a different list, which is my actual starts. And the numbers will shift around based on like which projects get pulled. So the project that was at number 20 yesterday might be at number 19 tomorrow. And so my list will shift around. I might add stuff. Maybe we'll take stuff out if I decide I really don't want to start that. I'm also going to allow myself to not have starts every day. I'm not going to say I'm going to do it every other day or every 3 days or once a week, because I probably won't stick to that either. If I kind of have it be fun and have fate pick what I'm going to stitch for me, like maybe it'll be more exciting. But again, like if I don't feel like stitching something new the next day, I just won't. So I have a lot of stuff pulled that I can show you. Let me see. Yeah. So I just have a big pile of stuff. I'll show you some of the possibilities that could come up. I might not end up stitching on all of these during this year, but we'll see. So first, I have all 6 of the Mill Hill Sugar Skull kits. So pink, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. I have never done beaded project, so if one of these comes up, and I don't have any other beaded projects in my stack over here, but so if one of these comes up, it'll be my first beaded project. Not that I'll get to the beads during Maynia, but it'll be fun to finally do some beading, because there are some Mirabilias, like the mermaid stuff, that I would like to try, or I would like to start, but knowing that there's going to be a bunch of beading is still a little intimidating to me, so this might break me in. There are 2 projects in Stony Creek autumn 2016 that I would like to do. First one is called Wind and Sails. We can't direct the wind, but we can adjust our sails. And I was thinking about stitching that for my dad. I don't have fabric picked for that one, but I have a bunch of neutrals that could work for it. The other one that I would like to stitch for this magazine is called Rainbows and Stars. I was thinking this would be cute in the kids' playroom. I don't have fabric for this one picked out yet, but I have lots of options. I am also not a button person, so I do not plan to use the buttons. The chart does have, at least for the flowers, it has colors charted or stitches charted for those. The stars at the bottom, there is nothing on the chart other than the button, but I don't think it needs it necessarily. So those might come up. Make a pile over here. Foxwood Crossings, letter sleds A to Z. I'm planning sometime this year to stitch 4 of these, one for our family, one for my parents, and then 2 for my 2 sisters that are already married. And I'll probably change up some of the colors just to fit the family personalities. So this is on the list 4 times, so 1 for each of those families. And I have, this is on perforated paper, just the brown perforated paper, and I already have the wood sleds that it'll go on to. I got those last year. Kitten Village by Soda Stitch. This one I'd be stitching up for my girls for their room. I will plan to just stitch it on 28 count white Monaco. I don't have it cut yet because I just have a big bolt, so I'll just cut it if this one comes up in Maynia. Oh, I forgot to mention, I do have one project that I'm definitely starting on a specific day. Other than that, it could be anything. And that is Star Wars Pixel People from L Cross Stitch on Etsy. And I'm going to do that on May the 4th for Star Wars Day. And I will put a picture, it's a digital pattern, so I'll insert a picture here. And I am planning to stitch that on 32 count light blue Lugana. I need something white so you can see the color. There we go. 32 count white Lugana. I have the 4 Ink Circles mandalas. First one is a spirited mandala, and this one has pumpkins and ghosts. And I'm going to be trying out Anchor Black for the first time. I know some people said that the coverage is better than DMC Black. I haven't been impressed with DMC Black on some of my projects right now, so I'm going to try this out. That is beautiful, sweetie. Here, she dropped her fan. And I'm going to be stitching it on 32 count Lugana in Voodoo from Picture This Plus. So it's just orange with some purples. That's okay. Next one is called Wings and Things. And this one has bats and spider web and some jack-o'-lanterns and some skulls. And again, using Anchor Black. And I'm stitching this one on 32 count Lugana in Monster Mash from Picture This Plus. And it's greens. And I think it's supposed to be like purples, but it's kind of, it looks brownish. Next one is Fireburn and Cauldron Bubble. This one is the witchy one with the cauldrons and the bats. And I think those are black cats and witchy hats. And also Anchor, stitching it on 32 count Lugana in Whimsy. This is the same color that Cloud's Factory is using for the Women in History cell.
Now, Mom.
Oh, that looks great. She's missed a shoe though.
Oh.
Last one is a ghostly mandala. This one was also in a magazine. I don't remember which one.
Well, that one's lost.
Okay, can you go back in the playroom, sweetie?
There's only one.
Okay, can you go back in the playroom, sweetie? I'll help you find it later, okay? This one is all ghosts, also Anchor. And I'll be stitching this one on 32 count Lugana in Pewter from Picture This Plus, and it's a light gray. Next up is Candy Corn of Mischief. This one, I don't know if you can get it just the pattern now. Maybe people who have already stitched it. At the time that I got it, you could only get it in a kit. I did get this from Needle in a Haystack when we did our November meetup there. It comes with pearl cottons and kind of a loose weave linen. And I don't plan to use the kit stuff. I don't know if I like the chunky sort of look. So I pulled out some gray Monaco cloth that I dyed myself. And I thought the colors would kind of look nice on that. And just use DMC. And then when I'm done stitching it, I'll probably just pop this on Stash and Load. And somebody will have the full kit. Hocus Pocus Cat Spell by Clouds Factory. It's digital pattern, so I'll insert a picture here. And when I first planned to stitch this, I thought that I would put it on this piece of Monaco that I dyed myself, and it's just light purple color. This was kind of the first round of dyeing for the Satsuma Street Halloween cat that ended up being, like, I wanted more of a periwinkle color, and so the second time I dyed, I got more like bluey purple. So this was a leftover, and I figured it would look good with Hocus Pocus Cat Spell, but I'm worried that this isn't big enough, like quite big enough. So when I was going through my stash, I found this piece of fabric. It is Apricot Sunset in 28 count Lugana from the Crafty Kitten. And it's purples with like pink, and this looks pretty blue down here. And it's pretty big. And I would only need half of this. So I get to pick which half I want and then save half of it for something else. So I think I'll probably be on this. The Under the Sea Sal, I'll put up a picture of what's been released so far. And I have the fabric that they had specially made for the Sal. It's the one that's like ombre, so it's lighter at the top, darker at the bottom. It's supposed to look like water. It is a stamped fabric, so it's just plain on the back. And I wasn't really worried about keeping up on that stitch along, so that's why I haven't even bothered to start it yet. But it could be started. Next up is Starburst and Stripes Forever. This is a Cherry Lane Designs pattern. I showed this one in one of my more recent videos because it was a new acquisition. And this one, they comment about not stitching it on white fabric, but I feel like the picture or the color that they picked is still too light. And there are tons of white stitches in here and like cream stitches, and you can't see any of them on this fabric. There are some regular cross stitches, but most of these are like Starburst, so they're all specialty stitches. And I think I am going to stitch it on another piece of 32 count Lugana in light blue. This is the same fabric as what I'm going to use for the Star Wars piece for my son, and this is what Giant Harry Potter's on. So I think that'll look really pretty. I think that the blues are dark enough that they will stand out on this fabric, and then the whites will really pop. More than theirs, I think. Enabled by Joe. In one of my recent videos, you saw that I got Superdocious by Sue Hillis Designs. And this I'd be stitching for my girls. Probably go in their room. The blues I'm planning to change to purples. And I plan to stitch it on a piece of Monaco that I dyed myself in a light aqua color. You cannot see that at all. There, that's better. Get some. So it's a pale aqua color. This is the same, or maybe slightly lighter than the fabric that I dyed for my Emerald City. So it's just a fairly light aqua color. Next up is Clouds Factory's I'm Actually a Mermaid. And this is made in a font that is similar to Little Mermaid. My sister is obsessed with Little Mermaid, or not, I shouldn't say obsessed, that sounds weird. She really likes Little Mermaid, it's her favorite Disney princess. And I'll be stitching it on 28 count Ariel, the other Ariel, the sky Ariel, from Picture This Plus. I think it'll be really pretty. And for this one, when I was at Needle and Haystack back in November, I just grabbed some more Petite Treasure Braid because I thought it was pretty. And these are colors that I think, or that I thought would look really good in some mermaidy stuff. So I might add a little sparkle in this pattern. Next up is Beach Day. I showed you guys this one recently. I want to stitch it for the same sister that likes Little Mermaid. This one I was hoping would be a gift for her graduation, but it won't happen in time. This is by Country Cottage Needleworks, and I do have the hand-dyed threads for this. I don't know where I put them, so I have to find them before I start. And I was having a hard time picking a fabric for this one because I don't have that many like light neutrals where that brown will look really good. But oh, that is wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. I have 32 count Lugana in Fog from Picture This Plus, and it's kind of like a, I don't know, when I bought it, it looks kind of gray online, but it's more of like a yellowy brown modeling.
Clean my potty.
I will, sweetie. Thank you for letting me know.
Another potty, please.
At the end of the day, if we stay dry, okay?
I am
We're
dry.
potty training. I know you are. So maybe we'll do a lollipop when we go to get brother, okay? And then we'll talk about the pony later. The next one I'm really excited to start, and if my husband is watching, stop watching right now. This is planned to be a gift for him. It's 99 by Ink Circles. And I do plan to stitch it on the Call for fabric, or what the model is stitched on, and that is Ale from Picture This Plus. It's pretty ale-y in color. I wasn't sure if I wanted to use this because it's more gold than I thought it would be, but I do think that it's going to look really good. Next up is Welcome Sal. I never started it. I dyed fabric for it specifically, and I just never did anything with it. So it's a piece of monocle cloth that I hand dyed myself. Oh, you can kind of see the color. It's like a light buttery yellow. Let's see. There you go. And I am planning to use silks from Dinky Dye's Oops Packs. I pulled the DMC and then I tried to match up some of the Dinky Dyes that were similar in color. They're not perfect matches, but I think they're going to be really pretty. And eventually this will be a gift for my parents for their house. Next up is Tombstone Sampler, and I think it's by Dark Crosses, and I got it on Etsy, but it's not through their own shop. I'll put info down below for where you can get it, and it's digital patterns, so here is what it looks like. And this one you get to personalize, so I will put our family name on there. I will be stitching it on 32 count Dapple Lugana, or 32 count Lugana in Dapple from Picture This Plus. It's pretty gray. And I am planning to use black hand-dyed silks from Silks for You. And you know what I realized when I was pulling this together? When I was stitching on my Death by Cross Stitch, and I was like, oh wow, this seems really dark. This part of the thread seems really dark compared to the others. It's because I accidentally pulled it from the black and not my gray. Somehow my baggies got mixed up. So now I have to decide what I want to do with Death by Cross Stitch. If I just want to leave it, if I want to start mixing in some of the black every now and then, or what. Oops. Almost done. Next up is Magical Creatures calendar. I have this as a digital one. This is Cloud's Factory. I'll insert a picture here. And I've had the stuff for this one kitted up since 2014. And I still have all of the threads.
Was this out here?
Yeah, you can have it, sweetie. And the fabric that I bought for it is from Dove Stitch, and it is Magical Clouds, and it is sparkly. Let's see if you can see. You can't see the sparkles. How do you not see the sparkles? Okay, well, believe me, it's sparkly. It's like really sparkly. There, you can see some of it.
Mom,
And it looks kind of like sky. This is a stamped fabric, so it's just plain on the back. You can see it, see? This one will be stitched for my youngest daughter, the baby girl. Each of my other kids already has a calendar sampler for them where it actually has the months stitched on it. So for my son, I did the Woodland Sampler from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And for my daughter, I did the Once Upon a Time Sampler from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And so for the younger one, I'm going to do this Magical Creatures from Cloud's Factory. Next up, I have Promise Me from Lizzie Kate. And I have the dyed threads for it. And I pulled a 32 count Lugana in Ren from Pictureless Plus. I've had this one for a long time and haven't started it. So that'll be nice. That won't be for the kiddos. I'm not sure if it'll go in the playroom or what. Alright, last one that I have ready to go. These I've had for a while, the Year in Chalk from Hands On Design. I am throwing May and June into the possibility pile. May is Plant Seeds of Joy. And June is Catch a Wave. And I think when I stitch Catch a Wave, I'm going to make that orange-blue instead. I still need to cut down the fabric for this. Still. It calls for 30 count Weeks Dye Works in gunmetal, but I got 32 because 30 you like can't find anywhere. And it's just a really good like chalkboardy gray. So I'll get that cut down. I have other projects, like I said, that I still need to match up with some fabrics, and those could be possibilities. My favorite possibility, and I'm still trying to find fabric for in my stash, is the Halloween Sampler by Cottage Garden Samplings, and hopefully I can find something to go with this one. If not, I might just have to start it at some point in the near future. So those are the things that I've pulled so far for Maynia. You might end up seeing other things as I pull stuff out. For this Maynia, I'm considering, or I'm not considering, I'm going to try doing a vlog. So I'm thinking that maybe stitching a little bit each day, or not stitching, doing like quick little daily updates might actually work better for me than trying to sit down like at the end of the month or even after 2 weeks and gather up all of my stuff to try to do a bigger video. It's hard to have time to sit down and do this. My daughter, the baby, is actually taking a really good nap today, so I was able to do it. I tried recording earlier and the cat meowed through the whole thing as I was up in my room trying up there to see if that would be better, and it was not. So now I've recorded twice and taken up a lot more time than I probably should have. But maybe if I could do little snippets each day, I'll be able to keep up with it better, and then it'll be easier for me because I already have the stuff that I want to show you right in front of me. So I'm going to try a vlog. I really love other people's vlogs when they're doing Sal's, especially Stitch Mania. I watched a bunch of people that did vlogging for Stitch Mania last year, and it was a lot of fun to kind of see that daily little bite instead of look at this and look at this and look at this. Like, I don't know, it felt more like in the moment and real. So I'm going to try it. Hopefully I will be back mid-May. I know some people will be finishing up Maynia. I might continue Maynia. We'll see what happens and how I feel when I get to that point. But yeah, I'm hoping mid-May I'll come back with a little Stitch Mania update. So until then, I hope that people that are doing Stitch Mania, you're ready to go. You're probably already stitching. I haven't even started anything. I haven't even picked my project yet. But hopefully you're stitching away and having fun. If you're not doing Stitch Mania, hopefully you're watching everybody that's doing it and having fun vicariously through other people, because Stitch Mania is crazy and awesome, and it makes you want to stitch. And yeah, until we see each other next time, happy stitching.